It's obviously a tremendous asset to us as Photoshop designers to be able to use as many layers as we need to get the job done. But as you begin working, it's possible that some of the layers that you created as separate elements would be best served if they were one. I'm not talking about a group. I'm talking about merging the layer. Tell you what, open up in our exercise files, layers and groups. That'll work just fine here. In this one, and this is the original, we have hair, ears, eyes, nose, mouth. Each one of these is a separate layer. Now, I did it that way up front so I could align everything. But I don't need them as a separate layer anymore, and the group thing is fine, but I don't need that either. I want to reduce the complexity of my layers panel by putting all of those elements into one single layer. Now, you are going to lose control over the individual elements. Don't forget that. So make sure you know you want to do this. But of the ways we can do it, number one, select all of them. Shift-click. Now, you can either right-click your mouse or go to this option right here and tell the computer that you want to merge layers. Now, when you use merge layers, we're talking about the selected layers. And if I go ahead and select that, they all merge into one. The top layer, the layer that's going to name all of the merged layers, that's why it's called hair. Let me press undo. Another way that we can do this is we can start with the first one, hair, and then we can go up to this button right here and say merge down. Notice it says merge down now, not merge layers. That changed. Or we can use the shortcut, which to me makes sense. Control E. Now, every time I do that, it will merge down. This time, though, it's the bottom layer that maintains the name, so it's changed to mouth. I guess that's not really that big of a deal, but now you know why it's named mouth and not hair as in the other one. Now, I'm going to go up here to the Marvelous History panel, and I'm going to take the image back to what it was at the beginning. This is kind of like a quick undo. Are there other ways that we can do this? Well, actually there are. There's a lot of other ways we can do stuff here. For example, if we come down here and turn off Andy's, funny face, and background. So the only things left are the hair, ears, eyes, nose, and mouth. Basically, if I come back up to this button here, I have a button to merge the visible. Now, if I do that, again, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to put them all together. It's going to use the top name hair, and we've got it again. But there's one other way I want to show you. I'm going to press Command-Z again, undo it, love undo. What I want to do here is take all of these layers and make them one, but I still want to keep my original 5 layers. Same thing, turn on everything that you want to do this to. Come up here to this button and go down to Merge Visible, but before you click Merge Visible, hold down the Alt key and watch what happens. It will create a new layer, and everything, I can turn this stuff off now, everything is now in that layer. So I've taken 5 and made 1. You say, why? Well, sometimes I want to see how it reacts when I'm doing something like that, which is important. But the other thing is I may want to move that information into another document. And if I have 5 layers, I'm going to have to move 5. If I've got 1, I've got it all in 1. That's not a bad thing. Let's go ahead and get rid of that layer. Now, when you merge layers together, I want to mention one more thing, and those are possible consequences. Obviously, if we have all of these on, and notice all I'm doing is dragging down, that's another way you can turn everything on. I've got everything separate. I got control over everything. I put them together, I do have less control. But we do have 2 text layers here, Andy's and Funny Face. Now, if I click Andy's and press Control E, notice it doesn't work. You can't merge down a text layer, but I can select both of those text layers here and tell the computer that I want to merge those layers. But notice what happened. They do not look any different. It still looks like Andy's Funny Face. They are no longer text. When you merge text layers together, you lose the ability to use them as text anymore. They're just paint on the screen. Again, that's no big deal if you know what you're doing, but understand what's going to happen when you do that. merging layers gives you control over the layers panel with some consequences. On to the next.